Here we go again. This is Bobby Blitz from Overkill, and that's right, I'm in charge because I say so. And we're blowing it up on Capital Chaos TV. Stay tuned.
All right, this is Todd Owens, Capital Chaos TV, and we're here tonight in San Francisco at Slim's with the legend himself, Bobby Blitz Ellsworth. How you doing, Bobby?
Let me tell you, you're not a legend when you're mowing your own lawn on Sundays, but it's good to be here. Good to be here. Good to be here with a Jersey guy in San Francisco.
All right, and I will say you're a legend in my mind.
Fair enough.
Okay, there you go. All right, so I guess first we'll just jump into some formalities. You're on this little tour, about 10 days into this month-long tour with good support from Nile, and maybe talk a little about the tour and how it's going.
Well, it's good to have kind of a thrash death tour. I mean, they got a different vibe to them over on the Nile bus, coming from kind of an Egyptian mode and some different scales, some Asian influence stuff in there. So it's not preaching to the choir, and I like the fact that it's diverse. There's areas of gray in here. It's not just black and white. And I think it helps them as well as us. And when you really look, at the end of the day, you can kind of tell by ticket sales. And if the ticket sales are up, then life is a good thing. So with regard to the tour, with regard to a tour/release, it's working out really well so far.
Yeah, I just want to say, for me, it's like I'm a huge death metal and thrash metal fan, so two of my favorites together. So it's a great package.
But there is a crossover, and that's the thing. I mean, we both kind of come from the same DNA, don't we? I mean, it's really, we're not that far apart from each other.
They came from your DNA. Thrash is, come on, thrash started it all.
Who peed in the fucking thrash metal gene pool?
I knew you were contributing anyways. There was a few other people there too.
Hey, let me tell you something. I got out as soon as Slayer got in.
Well,
the pool.
I have notes to bring this up later, but we can bring it up right now because you're talking about it. And actually, when did you answer the ad from Dee Dee? What was that, like 80 or 81 or what year was that?
It was 81. We had simultaneous ads. I was in a college with a guitar player playing in a band called DOA. We were looking for a bass player and a drummer, and it was called the East Coast Rocker. This was our social media back then. You had to actually mail it in. And he had an ad in, we had an ad in.
It was a little slower.
It was a little bit slower. It was a week and then a phone call. That actually I had to wait for it to go to
for that phone to ring.
No such thing as instantaneous information. But that was back in 81, and our relationship has been, I suppose, building ever since.
So I wanted to bring that up because I think, like, in theory, like, you guys actually predate Metallica kind of forming and Slayer kind of forming, like you and Dee Dee getting together with this idea. So I mean, we could talk about the big four and everything, but we know who started it all.
Who?
Overkill. East Coast. So yeah, the tour is going good, and then so you got Nile, and then you're doing something special at the end of this tour. There's kind of like a cross-pollination of tours, right, where you got the guys from Amorphous and Swallow the Sun that are on their own tour, right? That are meeting up and doing like the last 5 dates with you guys.
Yeah, 5-6 shows with Amorphous and Swallow the Sun. The cool thing about we know the Amorphous guys. We've done as we talked earlier, just socially. We've toured with so many bands, so we've known so many from festivals, and I know them. We were just on 70,000 Tons with them. Nice. So I mean, it's kind of great to have these kind of reunions and do that cross-pollination like you're saying, because preaching to the choir is not always the greatest thing. It's kind of cool to have difference or variety or diversity.
And people will just be inspired, right? To be like, who's these guys? I don't know them. And then you're like, wow. So, I mean, it's cross-pollination and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree.
You mentioned 70,000 tons of metal, so I just wanted to ask, what is that? You guys done that before? Or?
Yeah, this is our third.
All right.
It's funny. I mean,
I guess you like it if you went back 3 times.
I'll tell you. I mean, I was never a big boat guy, and it's funny. Andy Pillar, who puts it together. I mean, he called on January 2nd to wish me a happy New Year, and I said, we used to work very close. He was our agent in Europe, and I said, Andy, we know each other, well. Let's cut the fucking bullshit here. Who canceled? He goes, blah, 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 X amount of money. I said, hang on, let me talk to my wife. Annette, it's Andy. Tell him yes.
So he was good for the money?
Yeah, Annette handles it. No, it has nothing to do with the money. Annette likes the tour,
okay.
or the cruise. So
she gets a few days on the boat.
She gets a few days on the boat, and it's really relaxing. It's really, it's the antithesis of metal, because metal should be kind of edgy, and this is really relaxed, So, but I think it still works out because it's kind of like being backstage with 3,500 people. So I have a hell of a lot of a lot of fun on it.
Yeah, I remember interviewing Mile from Creator, and he was talking about it, and he said he went in with these preconceptions that it was just going to be like, metalheads and puke everywhere and stuff, but kind of what you were saying, it's civilized. They can be civilized, and it's civilized fun, right?
I had a great experience, not on this one, but on the cruise prior, and the captain was Finnish or Scandinavian. He turns out to be a big metalhead. He invites Overkill and Venom and In Extremo up to the bridge and sits there with all our wives and girlfriends and says, it's so funny. You get these very high-class people with all this money. They're the most unbehaved people. I get 3,000 metalheads on this boat. they're the most perfect guests to have on it. So I thought it was kind of unique to have that kind of props from the guy in charge of steering the ship, captaining the ship.